Hello and welcome. I'm the Restless Kaiser.
And I'm Bob Graham, owner of Musketballs 1812 in Southampton.
And together we are modelling for advantage.
Apparently we are.
Bob, you run Musketballs 1812.
We do.
We're here in your store in Southampton. With the B-roll footage, you guys should be seeing what's going around. But in the meantime, you just look at our beautiful bellies as young men, in good fitness.
We are.
All right. So you start. I've had a look around. You're really well stocked here, Bob. I mean, we've got the bolt action behind us, and some of the Warlord stuff, even Strontium Dog. But as I look round the store, you got some lovely Rubicon kits here, some Perry and Grip and B stuff down the other end, and of course a whole bunch of Warhammer.
We have,
like everyone would expect.
We do have to cater for everybody we can.
Everybody we can.
Yeah.
All right. But running a store these days, I mean, a lot of us have got friends who failed to run hobby stores because it's one of my ambitions is I've got an online store, but actually run a shop, super dangerous business. So tell us how you reached this point. What's your background in the hobby?
I've been playing with toy soldiers since I was this high.
Right.
Yeah. Started with, like most of us older guys, 172nd Airfix.
The old Airfix kits, yeah. With a potato masher grenade,
that's
throwing
it.
the African Corps one and all that.
Yeah, my first war game was in the garage.
Right.
Unbeknownst to me, my dad had stuff in the garage and I had a battlefield made out of a couple of tea chests and a Hessian sack.
Hessian sack.
And when something got bombed, I used to pour a bit of paint over it and I set fire to it, which really wasn't a done thing.
There are health and safety issues there. Did you conduct a risk assessment?
In them days, it wasn't a thing.
No.
In them days, it was just a case of my dad's hand coming through the garage door and grabbing me and yanking me out backwards, saying, "There's fuel in that garage.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't try this at home."
Yeah. But no, I've played with toy soldiers for as long as I can remember.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I took a small break for a while. Again, as you grow up, you've got school, you've got college, you have to go to work. Mm-hmm. I played ice hockey when I was younger.
Right.
So that was a big part. But I'd go home, and if I was bored, I would get something out and either put it together, kit bash something, paint something.
So you still kept on with the modelling?
Yeah, I still kept on. And
but at some point you thought, I want to work in this industry.
Well, yeah. Early 90s, I got a job with Games Workshop.
Right.
They'd been told by...
You came over to the dark side.
Yeah, they'd been told by the manager at the time in Southampton that apparently they needed to employ me.
Right.
And I'd said, well, I don't need a job, I've got a job. Anyway, they wore me down in the end.
Right.
And I worked for them, and I've got to admit, some really nice people. I'm still in touch with quite a few of them today, like John Stallard, Ronnie Renton, Stu McCorkadale.
Yeah.
Escape Games.
Oh, you got up to Nottingham, everybody used to work for Games Workshop at some point.
This is very true.
Yeah.
2 days ago, I had a guy walk in the store and look at me, and I thought, "What you looking at?" And he went, "Bob."
Fair question.
Yeah, he went, "Bob," and I went, "Yeah," and I looked at him, I didn't recognise him, and he went, "It's Alex." Alex. I said, "You're a vet." He used to work for me in Games Workshop over 25 years ago.
Right.
And he was across here from New Zealand visiting his mum, and he popped in. So, yeah, it's nice to still be in touch with people and to talk to them.
Yeah.
Find out what's new, who's doing what.
So you ran the Southampton store for Games Workshop for a period of months, years?
I went between Southampton, Portsmouth, Bournemouth. We were the key store.
You're becoming increasingly more pirate as you went west, by any chance?
Sorry, pirate? No.
The West Country, that's where all the pirates and the cider is, right?
This is it. I've got to admit, I don't mind a bit of rough cider, but Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But no, I'd gone around a few stores. I was key store manager in Southampton, which meant we used to take all the figures for like France and Germany and the South Coast, and then transfer them up to head office on a night time.
And this is all in the 90s, in a kind of a bit of a golden age for Games
This is the 90s when everything was great fun and not huge money men and stock markets.
Right. Yeah. And there were still Citadel miniatures back then. And all the separate brands.
Yeah, you still had
the company.
She still had some Marauder. Yeah, Citadel.
And they made board games as well.
They did.
Even Railway Rivals.
Yeah,
or that probably
I think somewhere in my conservatory I've probably still got a copy of that.
What, the Games Workshop edition?
Yeah.
The only reason that I know that is in the, I'm obviously a great deal younger than I look, but when the Games Workshop store opened in my town, which was in the early 90s, maybe the late 80s, they had the central tables were absolutely full of these board games that they used to make. So you had like the Dracula game and the Railway Rivals game. And I look at it now and thinking like, Block Wars for Judge Dredd.
Got all of that.
Chainsaw Warrior, Rogue Trooper. And they were like £2 each.
Sorry, but you've missed one out.
I've missed a good one out.
Yeah. Oi, That's My Leg.
Oi, That's My Leg, right.
The troll games. The managers, there was a cassette in the box, and it was Games Workshop managers that were singing the troll song on the cassette.
Right. Performing Rights Society probably have you for that these days.
Well,
you're not licensed actors.
I think if you just sat there going troll, 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 I think it's you're
indistinguishable from anybody else.
Nobody else is going to worry about things like that.
Yeah. All right. So you work for Games Workshop. Yeah. You look at that and thinking, I could do this myself.
Well, yeah. I left Games Workshop and I was working back on my tools, and I thought, actually, I'm running around all over the country. Doing jobs, getting home at silly o'clock at night, leaving at stupid o'clock in the morning. And I thought, actually, there's some shops up Shirley. So we opened a shop in Shirley Precinct on a short-term lease because we were going to build a new Sainsbury's store and knock all the shops down.
For those people not from Southampton, Shirley's like the classy bit of town.
It's not bad. It's a small. It used to be like a small village within the Southampton boundaries. It's obviously grown and everything's joined together now. But we opened a store in the precinct on a short-term lease, and the lease ran out, and obviously we had to leave and close down. We couldn't get any premises at the time. Only to find out when they built Sainsbury's, they didn't knock all the shops down. Our row of shops was still there, so we could have still, but
could have stayed there.
In one form or another, we've managed to go through the pandemic and other bits and pieces.
Oh, so that's relatively recent then?
Oh, no. The precinct's been up for quite a while, but I've been going in one form or another for about 20 years.
Right.
Yeah. Once I'd left Games Workshop, including just renting offices and space, communal space, in Lock and Store, which is a storage company.
Right.
Yeah, so we done this, and then while I was working elsewhere over the other side of the building, the estate manager said, I understand you're looking for a unit, and I said, yeah. He said, come with me and have a look at this.
So you've been here for nearly 20 years?
I've been in these premises for the past 5 and a bit.
Right, yeah, and hopefully you've seen some footage. So you've got the shop, which is very well stocked, particularly if you're interested in the historical gaming. But you've also got, as part of this, next door, you've got another unit, which is the gaming area.
Which is the gaming area.
And there's you can see your kind of history in the gaming, because there's some pretty vintage stuff out there, and some pretty modern stuff, which I really liked, and we'll show the guys some footage of those particular tables as you're going through. So are these all like your personal collection developed over the years? They're like that massive Zone Mortalis board out there. I mean, there's a few quid there.
Well, the Zone Mortalis board, when we were in different premises, there's a guy that had it, decided he wanted to sell it.
Right.
Yeah, and we could do with probably another 4 to 6 tiles, and that table would be totally complete. Yeah, from one end to both sides, that would be chock-a-block. But he wanted to sell it. He didn't have anywhere to put it, really.
Yeah.
So, lucky enough to me, 300 quid. And I can't argue with that.
not really.
I got a full table full of Zone Mortalis boards.
Right, yeah, that buy you about a quarter of it, I think. In
So
terms of
yeah,
money.
so it's and I looked out for Games Workshop gaming boards. You know, they'd come up. I don't like paying the price you want now. I mean, most of my
Even
sets,
a trade.
even my sets, I was only paying £90 for because somebody would come up and say, "I've got this for sale." I'd say, "Yeah, I'll take it." You know, I paid. There's a grey table up there of plastic boards from a German company who don't make them anymore.
Right.
And they came up online, and some guy wanted 60 quid for them.
Nice.
And I went,
You haggled at that?
I said, "I'll give you 40 and I'll pick them up tomorrow." And they were up in Sheffield. And he went, "Can I have till the end of the day to see if I can?" I said, no, you take your time. Just come back to me if you want. And he came back and he said, "Bob, they're yours." And I said, "Okay, I'll send one of my drivers up when he's on his rounds and he can pick them up, give you the cash." And we had 6 nice new German style boards, which are good for inside of a spaceship, Star Wars Legion, things that need a metallic-y looking.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to play on a board rather than a mat. I've got to say, and mats are very popular. I'm not dissing them.
No.
Personally,
Mats are a good thing if you have just a dining room table.
Yeah,
and
or a church hall in your wargames club or whatever,
and a little bit of scenery.
Yeah,
because you have to pack it up and you have to keep it somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm lucky. My old shop, which is 5 times smaller than this, is going to turn into a 3D print room and a storage for the scenery room.
Right.
But that's for slightly later on.
Yeah. But that's one of the advantages. So if a member, if somebody who doesn't know is thinking, "Oh, I'll pop down, I want to play on that Zone Mortalis board," what's the terms? People just rock up and play, or is there a fee for using the facilities?
We charge a £5 booking fee because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
We started when we could allow people back in. We started a £5 booking fee for a table.
That seems reasonable. So you run the gaming side of it more as you've got to cover your costs, you're renting the space, but outside of that, it's more like a club.
It's more like a club
than the shop.
Yeah.
And in terms of the retail, somebody walks in store. What is it all RRP? Is there a membership discount? Or
No.
How does that work?
No. What we do is it's all recommended price.
Yep.
We do reduce stuff. Depending on what it is, if it's coming off a sale for some reason, we will reduce it. We'll either put it up the back end of the shop here, or we put a different coloured sticker on it and we leave it in a section. So you'll come along and go, "Oh, that used to be 50 quid. Oh, it's down to 35.
Yeah.
Fine.
But you got the advantage in stores. You walk away with it, right? You're not waiting for it.
And we run a loyalty card scheme.
Oh, right, okay.
And it's a funny system because we're on an industrial estate.
Yeah.
When you come in, we get you to put your name on the top of a card. You get your first stamp free because you found us.
Okay.
That's because we're on an industrial estate. Every time you spend £25, you get a stamp. You collect 5 stamps, you get £5 off your following purchase.
Right.
If you collect 10 stamps, you get £15 off your next purchase.
Encourages saving. We like that.
There's absolutely no expiry date on these cards. So, for argument's sake, look, we've just been playing Dead Man's Hand. Let's say next September there's a new version coming out and you think, "I want to save for that." You can save 2 or 3 cards if you want because you're spending money. We just clip them together, keep them here, and when you go, "Oh, this game's come out, can I redeem my cards?" we just say yes. And I've been doing the loyalty card scheme for about 25 years in one form or another, but we've always had the loyalty scheme, and I don't care where you come from. We'll always ask you, even if you're only going to be coming in once a year. We've got guys coming in from Bruges, and getting from Holland and so on, and they come in. They come and have a quick shop because it's just people like to look for gaming clubs and stores, and we just keep them here. They're there, We don't do so much mail order, but if it come to the crunch and you couldn't get in, yes. If you're not close enough that we couldn't deliver it, we would get it posted out if need be.
Right. But in the mainstay, you're a traditional store.
We're a traditional bricks and mortar store.
Yeah.
I like people to come in, look round, ask questions. we don't mind if somebody comes in and finds, they'll look at a Wargames Atlantic box or a Perry box, and these boxes don't have cellophane wrapping.
Right.
Somebody will say, may I look in it? Yeah, of course you can. If you want to look at the sprue, open the box carefully, look at the sprue. If that's what you want, put it back in.
Yeah, it's in the Rubicon boxes right in front of me like that.
That's it, you know.
Yeah.
So if you need to look in it to check something, we've not got a problem with that.
Yeah.
I know what hobbyists are like.
Yeah.
I know what people like. They like to see what extra you get on a sprue, what you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kit bashers.
We're all like
how many
that
poses
for
for these bodies?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the reason I'm here is because Wooly Mike is involved, you know, in the store, and he mentioned this Dead Man's Hand table that you've got that's built out of an old poker table. It's beautiful, but tell me about that. How did that end up here? Where's that from?
It originated from Stuart McCorkdale
from
Great Escape Games.
Yeah.
And I'm still in touch with Stu and on
from the old Games Workshop days.
Yeah, and on the feed on the phone, he was mumbling on about he was going to get rid of the table.
And so that's the table they demoed the game with.
That's the game they demoed the table on. And I said to Stuart, well, don't just get rid of it. I'll have it.
Right.
And
so not only do you normally haggle for the tables that you've got, this one you got for free.
I think I gave him a little bit of money for it.
Oh, did you? All right.
Yeah. After all, he had built it, and it came with the buildings. And all I did was fitted it to one of them long picnic tables.
You just screwed it to it.
So no, I did.
You did sort him out.
We did sort them out.
It is a beautiful table to be playing it on. And what I like about it is it's a scenery set that you've not likely to already have in your existing collection.
This is true.
You know, there's not many World War II battles take place in an 1870s Midwest town.
No, that's very true.
Or ranch or whatever. So the idea of being able to go somewhere where that already exists, you know, that's why we came here. There's a lot of time and money involved in building a table like that.
Yeah.
So you finagled it out of Stuart.
I managed to get it off of Stuart.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get all the way to Cardiff, and he couldn't get all the way to Southampton.
Right.
So we picked on a guy called Dave Stone, who lives Gloucester way.
Right.
Halfway between us, and Stu got it to Dave's house, and I went to Dave's house and picked it up.
Right.
And brought it home.
Met in the middle, but didn't necessarily meet each other.
Met in the middle.
All right. Yeah. I mean, for me, if there's a reason to come down, you know, it's a great store, but the chance to play on that table was really special.
Well, anybody can come down and play on it. We normally just set it up as a display table.
Yeah.
But if somebody came in and says, I'd like to play on that, we would just remove our models and we'd allow you to play on it because all the tables are playable.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't want to say, no, you can't touch that. Yeah. If we had a display table for a proper display, it would be covered in a Perspex sheet. So you could look at it, but you couldn't touch it. I don't want that. I want people to come in and, how did you do this? I want them, and I did notice, was it Sean was playing Denmark?
The Bent Copper?
The Bent Copper, that's him. I did notice when the camera wasn't quite running, he was lifting the lids off the buildings.
Yeah.
And looking inside them. Now, I know...
They got painted interiors as well?
I can't remember.
No.
But I do know that I can actually get poker tables with cards on them.
Right.
Seated cowboys. Actually, a cowboy that's been shot and is in the chair.
Right.
Yeah. So I could actually decorate the insides.
Right. Yeah.
If I wanted to at a later date. I would like to do a 6x4 town where you could get more in and obviously have 5 or 6 players playing a good game.
Yes.
Because it's grown since Stuart devised the game. It's now not just gunfighters, you've got Red Indians, you've got US cavalry.
Yes.
It's
expanded and expanded. Yeah,
it's gone and gone and
it's
gone.
It's a really popular game. Yeah. And what do you think that is? I mean, I've got my own views. I think I found it a really interesting game because some aspects of it feel like they were written in the 80s.
Yeah.
Which is that you roll a D20 and there's this table of modifiers that I could have put together when I was 19.
Yeah.
You know, because they're standard wargame modifiers. They're not bad.
It's not a difficult game to learn.
But the card interaction is what's super modern about it because in many ways they just change the gameplay so much.
Yeah. And you don't need to have 30, 40, 50 models in your army
No.
to play it.
No.
You get a box of gunfighters, you get a box of Indians, you'll get
The Nacho gang in my case.
yeah, you'll get a couple of different things, and he's also managed to get undead into it.
Yeah.
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 So it's got this little roll-on thing where it's easy to teach people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met Stuart once on the live show, and he was a nice guy. So, Great Escape Games is something we're very much looking at. We just had a look at Dead Man's Hand today. I'm working on is it Iron Cross?
I've got one of their Iron Cross books up on the stand.
Their World War II game. Looking at a demo of that quite soon, and I've got a guy commission painting me the 1914 game, which is their First World War, the early part, the War of Manoeuvre rather than the War of Trenches.
I mean, the other game he does at the minute is the Chicago Way, which is all the Prohibition gangsters.
Right,
and policemen.
yeah.
Again, same size box as Dead Man's Hand, and you've got your little box of models.
And a similar kind of game.
Similar kind of game.
Similar kind of gameplay. All right, well, it was lovely to meet you, Bob.
And you, thank you for
and just
coming
remind them, so it is, what's your shop?
It's Musketballs 1812 Wargaming. We're in Pit Road in Southampton. Ever want to come down, please feel free. Tea and coffee's free. If you get lost, just ring us, we'll guide you in.
All right, guys, thank you for watching.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. If you're tempted by Dead Man's Hand, thinking about purchasing it, or some of the supporting materials, check out our website, modelingforadvantage.co.uk. It's a great way to support the channel. Buy your miniatures from us.